and is going to engulf your town. Like it's really strange and it's really cool. Tingle is in it, who's the weirdest Zelda character of all
Dude,
time,
yes,
and
he is. He is
and he
awesome
sells you
though.
maps. But like it's that little stuff. Like I was saying, I don't like Ocarina that much because it's boring. Like this game is the opposite of that. Um, like the first time you ever put on the Deku Scrub mask, and your like face, or anytime you put on the mask and your face is like all contorted and you're in agony and stuff. It's just it's so strange and so different. And like it's fun to switch between the masks and go to between Link and Deku Scrub and the Goron and the Zora and all that. Um, and it's like each one has a different version of the ocarina. Like the Deku Scrub has this big horn thing, the Goron has bongos, and the Zora has an electric guitar. Pretty much, like it's just a really strange game, and I'm enjoying it so far, and I'm loving it. So I want to keep playing it for sure.
Yeah, yeah. I think my experience with this game was, like I said, it was a rental. A couple of my friends, they owned it, they played it, they could grasp the concept, but I just don't think I played it enough. But I do remember getting the first mask from, I believe it was Skull Kid, pretty early on.
Hmm. Yep.
Is that the Deku mask? I can't remember. I haven't
Yep.
played this game in
Yeah, Deku
ages.
Scrub.
And I did the
Yep.
first dungeon. I enjoyed it, but I still remember Zelda as that 2D game. I could just not grasp the concept of the 3D world. But the 64 itself was just a very weird with the controller. I didn't like it coming from the PlayStation, which just had like the kind of like the dog bone from the Super Nintendo, but just like with the extra
Right.
sticks hanging down, so you had a nice place for your other hands to sit. But yeah, didn't play Majora's Mask. I feel bad about it, but once again,
Yeah.
it's a very dark game. It's a lot of people's favorite actually in the series.
Yeah,
Uh,
and it's so different than anything else.
yeah, because it's not the
It's
mainstream norm of well, I like the
right.
Ocarina of Time. I like Link to the Past, like us right here. It's just
Yeah.
it's dark, it's sinister. People like something that's not great. Just the
Right.
feeling that knowing you're gonna die in 3 days if you don't stop that moon is just creepy, so
Right.
creepy. Like I know Peanut
Yeah.
Butter Gamer did a thing on it, and it was just he was just sitting there the whole time like it's weird, it's creepy, but it's great.
Right. It's a good game.
But
Real good.
yeah, I need to play Majora's Mask 3DS eventually. We'll see. I need to
We'll
own a
see if I
3DS
finish
again.
it anytime soon.
Yeah, yeah. But it does have a lot of cool characters that you do see recurring later. Just
Yep.
like a lot of pop culture references now because of these games. And uh, what's that guy's name you just talked about? The really weird guy that sells stuff with
Tingle.
the huge
Tingle.
backpack. He's hilarious. I love that
He's
guy.
great.
Yeah.
Tingle is fantastic.
All right. So then after Majora's Mask, we went back to the handhelds. I still was not a Nintendo guy at this time, so the Oracles. I played the red one, which is Seasons or Ages.
Yep. Seasons.
Seasons. Played Seasons. It was on a friend's advance. I think I played like maybe one dungeon, and I liked it. That was it.
Yeah.
What about you?
So I I played them briefly, on friends or cousins or whatever, their systems. I never actually had a Game Boy Color. All I had was a Game Boy, which I used to play Pokemon and like exclusively Pokemon until I got a Game Boy Advance. So I never really played them much until recently on the 3DS, and I haven't gotten very far into them. But they're set up similarly to. I mean, the gameplay is almost exactly the same as Link's Awakening. So if you enjoyed what you did in the Oracle game, the little bit that you played of it, that's pretty much what Link's Awakening is. But it's kind of cool that they made these games that released on the same day that you can interact with the different games. I definitely need to go back to them now. But otherwise, really, I don't have much to say about them.
Yeah, because I think it was you finished either one. You didn't have to play them in a specific order. You could play
Right.
ages or seasons, and then if you finished one, it gave you some kind of a code, and you could input that code into the other game, and it would like give you other items or something like that. And if you finished both of
Yeah.
them, you got another code that you could input in either game, and then you got like the big boss fight of Ganondorf at the very end, or
Right.
something like that. I mean, like I said, I haven't played this. I've only heard and read, but yeah, I pretty much got the gist of that, and I was like, well, that's kind of cool. I mean, like I said, they push the systems as far as they can, and then push them some more. Like, it's just so weird that they would do something like that. I know that I was reading something about the Four Swords. They were trying to, or sorry, this was actually the Seasons game. They were trying to make this into 3, pretty much
Oh wow.
pretty much just the equivalent of what's the Courage, Power, and Wisdom of the Triforce. It was pretty much trying to make 3 games
Oh,
based off
okay.
of the
Makes sense.
Triforce. Yeah, exactly. But they couldn't push they pushed the limit of the systems too far. This is where it kind of came back and bit them. But they still did release 2 games. But this was in
Right.
development for quite a while. The last handheld was, geez, it was like 8 years difference. So it's a big deal. But
Yeah, it was a while ago before those games came out, and it was. I remember there being some a lot of interest around it, but I just didn't have the system to play it on.
yeah, was this was Game Boy Color, right? Not Game Boy Advance.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
color.
I
It was
did play
color.
this on Game Boy Advance, not a Game Boy Color. So you could still do that back then whenever everything was backwards compatible, which was amazing. PlayStation 2 and everything else. But
Right.
yeah, I never played these besides that one dungeon on Seasons, but I want to again. And then there was another, yes, the Four Swords, another handheld, and
Right.
once again I did not own it, so I never played it. Still haven't played
Right.
it. We're getting to the ones that I have played here soon. I promise. I've played
Oh my
some of
God,
these
do you
games.
actually like Zelda?
No, I hate it. It's the worst game ever. No, but you
Oh.
did play the Four Swords, correct?
Yeah, I really liked the Four Swords the little bit that that it took to beat it. It was kind of cool because it came with a Link to the Past, so I got to play that again, which was really cool. And then got to link up with 2 friends of mine. Haha, link up. I didn't even mean that. It's how funny I
you
am.
did that. You did that.
Really funny. But just ask the people who work for me. But yeah, so it was really cool to be able to play like a multiplayer Zelda. It was pretty simplistic stuff where it's like, oh, there's 4 things that we have to stand on. There's 4 of us. There's 2 things. There's 2 of us. So it was pretty simple stuff, but it was kind of cool because I ended up making a longer GameCube version of it that was also a lot of fun. But it was just neat to play multiplayer Zelda for the first time ever. 4 links running around, and you're all different colors, and it got really, really hectic, which I enjoyed. Which most of the time Zelda games really didn't get that hectic. It's always pretty simple to beat stuff, and you never really got overwhelmed. But there was just stuff everywhere,
Everywhere.
and yeah, and it was a lot of fun. It was a different experience.
Call of Duty on the Game Boy Advance with Zelda, right?
It's exactly like Call of Duty.
Same
They even
game.
had prestiges
They
and
ripped them
classes,
off.
and
They ripped them off. No,
I didn't like noob tubes in Zelda though.
but yeah. So I remember seeing the commercial we just played. I just thought I wanted to play that because I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah.
Seeing like live action Links with all different colors running around.
Right,
Like
Puppet Link.
I remember seeing that when I was like a teenager, and I was like, "What the hell is this? Like, what are they talking about? I don't get it. I don't understand. I'm done. I'm gonna go back over here and play PlayStation like a noob or whatever."
Right.
But then after this is the one that I know Tom absolutely loved. I once again went the PlayStation route. I did not get a GameCube, but Tom, you did get a game. I did get a GameCube, but it was much, much later for Resident Evil 4. That's the reason I bought a GameCube.
There
As
you
you
go.
can see, there's another series that I really, really like. Watch the other
Yep.
episode. But yes, you did purchase Wind Waker, I take it.
Yeah. Yes, Wind Waker is the best game of all time. Yeah, it's the best game ever. So I think part of the reason I really enjoy this game too is like I broke my finger like the day before Wind Waker came out, and so I was really bummed, but I knew I had this Zelda game coming, and my parents like never ever bought me video games ever, except for like Christmas and birthdays and stuff. But even then, they were like, I don't know, do you need video games? But they saw I was kind of bummed, so they ended up paying the rest of my pre-order for Wind Waker, and I got to play it. And this game absolutely blew me out of the water. That was another joke.
Oh, he's got
But-
jokes all over the place today.
God, I'm just rolling with this. But I mean, this game it has so much personality. Like around this time, once I got a GameCube, I got a subscription to Nintendo Power. So before the game, when it first got announced, I saw the screenshots. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. Seeing like a cartoon, cel-shaded Zelda. And I know a lot of people hated on it because they're like, "Oh, we want it to look like Ocarina of Time." Those people are boring because they like Ocarina of Time more than Wind Waker. And the graphics today still hold up. Like I'll play this game regularly, every now and then I'll pop it in. I won't play all the way through it, but I'll play it just to play it again. And even on the GameCube, it looks great. Obviously, the HD version looks amazing, even though I don't own it. But it's just filled with colorful characters, colorful scenery. The story actually is a little bit more involved than the basic Zelda story because you have to go save your sister, but your grandma lives on this island and she doesn't want you to go. And you find this boat.
Chick.
You find a boat that talks to you. Yeah, you have Tetra and all the pirates, and everyone was the faces were all really expressive. Like Link would make these goofy faces. If you stood still for long enough, he would like look at stuff. His like eyes would kind of go up, and he would look at stuff in the environment.
Yes.
Like it had a lot of little touches, and it was great. And like when you like slide along the wall, he kind of gets his kind of stealthy mode going, and he has like this really serious.
His eyebrows like come down. He like gets like a straight face.
Yeah,
like,
and it's just a lot of fun. Like it's your classic Zelda 3D gameplay, but it was cool because you got to pick up the enemies' weapons sometimes. There were a lot of different enemies. One of the coolest systems was you could roll out of the way of attacks and then hit someone from behind, which helped for the Dark Nuts, the dudes with all the armor with their weak point in the back. It was cool because you got to roll around and just kind of slice them from underneath. I love the world with all the water and being able to sail around. I know people don't like that now. They're like, "Oh, it takes so long," but it's such a cool, unique idea.
There's
Yeah, and there's treasure chests and there's little islands with all sorts of secrets and things like that. And then it has one of my favorite characters in any Zelda game. Well, it has Tingle.
Yes.
It also has a fish that you feed fish food to, and he gives you maps. And he's just like flying around, and he's crazy. He's just some weird flying fish that gives you maps. It's awesome. And then there's also the guy who runs the games. I forget what his name is, but he looks like he is but he's having no fun whatsoever as he has to like dress up as part of this thing, and you have to like shoot him with a bomb.
He does. He's just like,
he's like, and his whole thing is like, they all talk like Charlie Brown like Charlie Brown adults, but it's just such a good game with all sorts of cool characters. Like, I forget what they're what are they called? I don't know, but the bird people.
Oh crap!
They're bird people. There's the little dude that looks like like a little leaf. You get to see the Deku tree at the end of Ocarina, where they plant the new Deku tree, and it grows up into this tree, and you get to see it in Wind Waker. It was really cool. The time that you discover that you go down and Hyrule Castle is under the water, and you pull out the Master Sword. Everything was frozen in time. You pull out the Master Sword, and you have to kill like 100 enemies that are all really difficult. I could talk about this game forever. It's got a grappling hook, which is awesome because I love grappling hooks. I don't know. Just Cause 2 is great. Just going to throw that out there. But it's just the best of the series in terms of colorful characters, gameplay that's good, a world that's fun to explore. And I even enjoyed looking for the Triforce pieces at the end of the game. Maybe I'm crazy, but I just love the game so much. And then it has the most brutal ending in any Zelda game ever.
It does.
In the most colorful,
stab him in the face
looking thing ever, where you just stab him through his head. You just stab Ganondorf through the head. Like, where did that come from in this game? Yeah.
No big deal.
It's just an incredible game. I can talk about it forever, and it is easily my favorite game ever. Well, if anyone asks me, no doubt it's my favorite.
I will take over. I never played this on GameCube. Like I said, I bought a GameCube once again late in its life cycle for Resident Evil 4, and I did not play it. My friends had it. They played it again, the guys that played the Ocarina of Time, and they did complain about that, like, oh my god, cel-shaded graphics, I want something realistic. And I'm like,
right.
That's cool. There's a couple games that have come out with cel-shaded graphics, and because of the way that they have turned out and they have held and stood the test of time. But I did purchase a Wii U to play, and this was part of the bundle that I bought. I purposely bought the Wind Waker bundle to have the cool little designs on my gamepad. but the system's still black and normal. But it's like the
Right.
32 gig one, but it was the same price. But I was in San Antonio opening